so here's Lily. So it's not a bad little model, you know, she's cute, adorable. She's got some hair things going on.
It's like a tall Betty.
Oh my god.
So the topology is, it's not bad. It's probably a little simple around the eyes and stuff, but it's still going to be animatable, so it should be fine. Lips look like they'll probably work just fine. So, you know, she's good. She's like a good basic little character. So let's take a look at the joints that he actually put in, because this is, I'm going to be adding more to these, but since he's kind of already did a little bit of the work for me, I'll just talk about what I'm seeing.
Whoa.
So, this is kind of referred to sometimes as like a star pattern or starburst. So what happens is you have basically one central head joint that everything else is kind of joined to. All right, so like the eyes go down to the central head. So like, you remember when I was doing the slug, how it kind of had like one joint that like all the tentacles in the mouth and all that came out of? This is the same approach. It's the same exact thing. And so what my friend, who's also named as John, wants to do is he wants to have individual controllers for the hair, to where we could have the hair like flowing, which would be kind of nice. So I got to figure out a way to kind of work that in there for him. What are these? Oh, it's the upper neck controls. Okay. Okay, so he kind of went a little far out with the neck controls, but I guess that makes sense with the hair. All right. And so he's got some joints right here for the jaw. So he's got one jaw joint here, which is going to control her mouth. She's got another one here. Is that for the tongue? Okay, so I don't actually agree with this. I don't agree with this. I'm probably going to redo this. So the way he's got the tongue joints set up is that they're not actually going to be able to follow with the jaw very easily. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and deparent this. And I'm going to reparent under the jaw joint, the actual moving portion of the mandible. So that when the jaw opens, the tongue will move as well. Make sense? Otherwise, if you open it, the tongue's just going to stay in space. It's not going to do anything. He's got some little teeny tiny teeth geometries, which are kind of adorable. So, yeah. So if you look at the rigging notes for this assignment, I did kind of, what the heck do I have to sign in? That's annoying. Are we going in? Okay. So there are going to be a number of stipulations with face rigs. What I'm going to be having you guys do is actually technically a very simplistic rig, although there is a lot of features to it. They can get way more complicated than what I'm going to be asking you to do. And so what we're going to be doing is kind of a blended approach between jointed face rigs, which is going to be where we have joints everywhere that move everything on the face, and then having something called a blend shape, or multiple blend shapes. And so blend shapes allow us to literally sculpt expressions on the face, and then they allow us to have set-driven keys that activate them. So like a smile, a frown, wide mouth, narrow, surprised eyes, furrowed eyes, things like that. That's things we can do with a blend shape that makes it really easy for an artist to hit a certain expression if we need to. Where is it? There it is. So for this assignment, you guys are going to need to make sure that we can open and close each eye individually, so it's not just two eyes blinking at the same time. We want to be able to make the characters wink. Cool? Cool. All right, we want to make sure that we can open and close the mouth with a direct controller to a joint that has the jaw joint skinned. We're going to need brow controllers, so there's going to actually be multiple joints in the brow that allow us to make the brow go down, make the brow go up, make the brow do weird, silly string shapes. But just to keep it simple, I'm going to ask for you guys to do 3 joints on each brow, so 6 total, 1 on the inner, 1 on the middle, and then 1 on the outer. So then we can just pull it up, pull it down if we need to. Make sense? 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay? You're going to have lip controllers. So you're going to have little controllers along the lips, bottom and the top. You're going to have a lip controller in the middle at the top, bottom, in the left and the right, left and right for top and bottom, and then corners. So you're going to actually have 8 joints, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, 2 in the corners, and then joints that are associated with each one of those. Okay, so that's going to allow us to kind of stretch the mouth out, squish it in, open the lips, close the lips, whatever we need to do. Cool? Cool. All right. The eyes are going to need to follow a central eye controller. Now we did that with a really simple constraint. You guys remember what that was?
Or aim.
Aim constraint, exactly. Now, when you are looking from one spot to another, you might notice that the eyelids actually follow along a little bit. Like physically, your eyelids will follow along with your eye movement. So there's going to be a little bit of skinning that's going to happen with your eyelids in order to make them follow properly with the rest of the eye. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit right there you're going to need to remember. Okay. Blend shapes. So the blend shapes we'll be asking you to do are going to be open and closed eye shapes. So for him to be blinking or winking. We're going to need to do brow region blend shapes. So basically expressions that have your brows going in, out, up, down, and then you're going to have like a furrowed, a surprised, and a sad expression. Okay? Mouth region, you're going to have a smile that can be divided into a left and a right, because a half a smile is literally a what? It's a smirk. 2 smirks equal a smile. It's really weird arithmetic. So we're also going to have a frown that's going to be in the left and the right. I don't know what a half a frown is, so I don't know. Make up your own.
A grimace.
Yeah, that works. A grimace. So 2 grimaces equal a frown, right? Okay. Then we're going to have a narrow left and right, and then a wide left and right, meaning half the face is going to be able to do all these expressions, and we put them together, then we get our full expressions. Okay? That's really important, because if we don't, usually you're not going to have symmetrical facial expressions on people for whatever reasons. Usually there's going to be a little bit of an offset. Okay? And it's just another layer of controllability to it. Also, I'm going to be asking for cheek blend shapes. So, cheeks puffy left and right, so something like that. And then a tight left and right. What might you use a tight for? Like this.
Oh.
What would that be for?
If you're saying like an O sound.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Chewy.
Yeah. So if you're opening and closing the mouth, you can like move the cheeks in and out. If you have like a puffy, what could that be for?
A pout.
Hmm?
A pout.
Could be. Could be stung by a bee. Could be chewing with food full, like your mouth full of food. Could be holding your breath. Could be blowing air. Yeah, absolutely. You could combine the blend shapes of a puffy with like a narrow mouth or like a tiny little opening. You could be like you're blowing air out, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So you're going to be also creating a GUI, which is a graphic user interface, that sits either on the face, which I tend to like to do that, where it's a little more integrated on the face, or something that sits off to the side that's like a menu that you can then activate each one of these pieces as you need. Okay? So we got to make it super easy. And those GUIs will stay with the face, so wherever the face moves, that GUI sticks with it. Okay? Also, I would suggest that you might go ahead and over sculpt your expressions, because if you can only smile here, that's going to continuously feel like the animator is hitting a wall or a ceiling whenever they're trying to pull and really overexpress those expressions. So I would go a little bit further with those blend shapes so that you have a little bit of headroom in order to get a better animation or a better performance out of your character. You may never actually get to that point, but at least you can go there if you need to. Make sense? Okay. All right. Any questions about what I'm asking you guys to do this week?